Well, the remains of Sonwabo Paper Ngxale will be reburied today at the Zwide Heroes Acre in Gqeberha. Ngxale's remains were exhumed on Thursday ahead of his burial. His life ended tragically on the 15th of July in 1986. He was killed in the political war dubbed the feud, which claimed the lives of many activists. Due to the hostilities at the time, Ngxale could not be buried at his home. Newzroom Afrika's Siphosethu Booi joins us now ahead of this morning's service. Siphosethu, I understand that you were present at the exhumation on Thursday. I think we can expect that today's mood will certainly be a somber one.
Definitely, Ntokozo. I mean, this is a family, you remember, that wasn't present on the day that he was buried back in 1986. So this family had to identify which exactly is his grave. And of course, the municipality administration team was also present. And an old man that doesn't live far from the cemetery there in Zwide, Ntokozo, just helping the family identify which exactly was the grave between the two. And eventually, when the family confirmed which grave that was, and of course with the help of the administration, the brother and the sisters really broke out into tears, and they just detailed what happened, what could have happened on the day. His brother Zola Ngxale also just speaking to us about what really transpired on the day, confirming that he was present, he was with his brother when he was abducted, and he had to be the one that goes back home to the family to tell the family that his brother has been abducted, and he was quite confident that he was going to be murdered. You'll remember also that on the 7th of July, he wrote an article where he was detailing just how sad and just how dark that space is, having to know that sooner or later you could be next in line, because this was a big feud between Azapo and UDF, Ntokozo, where many young people were dying. And he was only 23 at the time, matriculating as one of the top student achievers in the Eastern Cape province for maths and science. In his family also just saying that he was the one person that they really hoped would be the one that actually carries the family name and also just change the financial situation at home. But because he was not given that opportunity to actually go to school after he matriculated in 1983, then that meant that he just dedicated his life into politics. And he was described as a man that was one to speak, and the entire room would actually be mesmerized because he was an intellectual, and his life was really cut short during those difficult and dark times in the day. And he is, of course, from KwaZulu, another area where a lot of young people also still bury the exact same sentiments that the Ngxales of the day were fighting for, which is unemployment, the issue of education for black people in the community, and just the overall development of communities, especially in the township areas of Gqeberha. And now today his family will move a step closer to also just finding that peace as far as knowing where his grave is, as he will be buried at the Zwide Heroes Acre, like you mentioned, where all the rest of the struggle stalwarts rest here in Nelson Mandela Bay. So we are expecting the family to be here, members of Azapo, as well as just community members who knew him, or rather those who are also interested in, of course, the history of this country, because these are big names. These are names that you don't really hear much about them, especially just the feud that ensued rather between Azapo as well as the UDF in 1985 that further spilled over to 1986 in Ntokozo. So we are at the Dago Hall, and just behind me, as you can see, it's just a situation where preparations are still underway. And of course, some officials from the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality are also here. The procession as well as the family is expected to get to the hall, arrive at the hall at 9 a.m. this morning. So we will definitely be keeping a close eye, speaking to family as well as the leadership of Azapo, just to find out of the significance of this day and what this day truly means to them as a party here in South Africa.
All right, Siphosethu, we'll leave it there for now. Of course, we'll continue to monitor developments out in Gqeberha on that story.